Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we are back with yet another episode of Fire Force episode 3. Of course, after a week-long hiatus, but and a lot of people weren't too pleased with the delay. But I think many of us will agree that given the tragic events that happened at the Kyoto Animation Studio, that this was the right thing to do, right? And I don't know, it's moments like these that we do have to come together and make a statement that, and I understand that it's a very complex situation where this guy felt as though he was cheated, but again, it's a complex situation. We don't know all the details, right? So I won't comment further on that, but I think we can all agree that irrespective of what happened, that this should never be an option, right? Last time I checked, I believe upwards of 30 persons, I believe maybe 33 persons passed away as a result. So yeah, that should never be on the table. That should never be an option, whatever the case might be, right? It should never be at the cost of someone else's lives, many of whom had nothing to do with that. You know, yeah. So it's really unfortunate, and the animation studios have to come together. The anime community itself needs to come together and rebuke stuff like that, because like that's not a part of who we are, right? Not if you're a fan of anime and animation in general. It's just not. So we're finally getting to catch up on on the last episode. We were introduced to Arthur, who is going to be, I guess, sort of a rival to Shina, and we're still sort of being introduced to the world so far. We've had some of the main characters that we're going to be following. We've been introduced to them. I don't know if there are more outside of this team that we have, and of course we've met some of those humans who have actually burst into flames. We had one in the first episode. That was Shinra's first introduction to one, I believe, and we had another on the last episode. But what I liked the most about last episode, aside from the fact that it showed that these I don't want to call them monsters because they were human, and a part of the backstory here seems to be that there is some retribution. It is possible to save their souls, right? So I don't want to call them label them monsters, but um, a lesson that we got here is that, okay, this guy, this dad, he was a father, and he didn't want to. The impression I got, he didn't want to harm his daughter, so he just stood there with whatever will he had left. He just sat there, and they were able to put him to rest. But more importantly, some of the apart from the fight, the face off with Shinra versus Arthur, which was pretty cool. And getting to see Maki in action was pretty decent. It was pretty magnificent as well. But what I liked the most about that episode was how it highlighted some of the things that actual firefighters encounter when they come on the scene, right? And it shows me that the writers actually did a great job. They actually did research into all of that. So being aware of your environment, and we saw the structure collapse on them while they were actually there because of some interference by some Joker character. But the environment was the structure was collapsing. That's something that they have to take into consideration. They couldn't go all out with their abilities there because it could spread to other facilities or to other buildings. And outside of that, you have to consider the family as well. So they were told not to have their weapons on display. It seems something that Akiteru had. He held dear. You see, it seems like one of those hard rules that he has, and I do wonder if he had some experience in the past where something similar happened, and whoever showed up on scene had total disregard for the rules and just slaughtered the persons that were there. So it's interesting to see that he has that rule: do not show your weapons to those that are left behind and grieving, right? It needs to appear as though you're putting them to rest and not slaying a monster, not slaying a beast. because they were once human. So, so there are a lot of things dropped here and there that were just they're subtle, but really well done, and I appreciate that about the series so far. Now, of course, we have an upcoming tournament of sorts, and I'm hoping that we'll get to see all the generations on full display, their abilities there, because we were introduced to Arthur, who's also second generation, but his abilities differ significantly from I don't know, from Shinra's. I initially, when we were introduced to Shinra, I thought that it was everyone in that generation were it was pyrokinesis, and they all had the same abilities, but his is different. And so I'm interested to see how else these abilities can actually manifest themselves. So I want to see that tournament really badly. It's probably going to be something like a My Hero Academia tournament, and I hate to quote that because My Hero Academia is not the first anime to actually have a tournament, but it's what's popular it's what's in everyone's mind right now because it's recent, it's current. But it's something definitely I'm looking forward to. So episode 3, let's check it out.
世界はズタボロ。あるところでは炎が吹き上がり、大陸を切り裂くように空間が歪み、過去数多くあった国々は滅び去り、今この星で人がまともに生活できるのは、この東京公国のほかわずかしかない。その話まだ続くのかい。どうかな。僕としては続いてほしいと思うけれどね。どうだった？例の悪魔がいる第8特殊消防隊。少し調べておいたよ。大隊長の飽きたる奥義、消防士時代に勲章を2度受賞。
Why is he so interested in them though, especially Shinra? Rookie Fire Soldier Games.
おお、新人大会だ。玉木こたつ、活躍するぞ。あ？何見てんだよてめえ。
Why is everyone looking so tense? Ah, different people from the other companies are here. 2, 4. I wonder who's the rival. I'm guessing number 1. Yeah, I was asking about this guy before. I thought it was his dad in the first flashback, but I guess he was just one of them that rescued him.
第8のと、つかぬことをお聞きしますが、12年前の火事を覚えていますか？
今君と話してる暇はないんだ。すまないね。
ちょっとだけでいいんです。てめ
え、うちの大隊長に気安く話しかけ。
第一の大隊長、少しだけでいいんです。
He knows something, but he doesn't want him to know. Why?
死んだ隊員と言ったね。年間に何件の火事が起こるか知っているかね。申し訳ないが、12年も前のことを覚えていないな。
He's lying.
競技が始まるぞ。支度したまえ。
これから火事場に見立てたあの建物に一斉に突入してもらう。障害を突破し、要救助者を助けてから、最も早く焔人役の隊員のもとにたどり着け。
なるほど。白ス
タート。
余裕？
でも俺の場合、
Just jump to the top.
飛べばいいだけだからな。
Guessing it's not that easy.
猫バカ
ヒーローはいつだって空から登場だぜ。お邪魔します。
He's interfering in the tournament. How would no one see him enter that building though?
よう、邪魔者は全員片付けといてやったぜ。俺に集中しろ。悪魔の足跡。知りたくねえか？
何？
Don't lose sight of your objective, Shino.
あんた、何を？
知りてえんだろ？お前の母ちゃんと弟が死んだ火事のこと。 お前が悪魔になったあの日の。
そこの隊員から離れろ。
ああ、なんだ。火事の話よりこの二人の方が気になるのか。消防官だね。そうか、俺に集中できねえか。じゃ
Just
あ
created fire,
殺し
so
とく
he's
か。
also a third generation.
やめろ。あの火事の何を知ってる？いえ。
俺を楽しませれば教えてや。さて、なんてまで耐えられるかな。
はい。
Damn. What the hell is that? It seems to be moving on its own.
なんだ、案外あっけねえな。これ、ご褒美にあの火事の真実ヒントその1教えてやるよ。お前の弟、今も生きてるよ。
Wouldn't they have found their names in the fire?
ショーが生きている。
Or not? If they didn't, wouldn't they have said so?
どうい
Or
うことだ。
something
ショー
covered
は
up?
骨も残らず焼け死んだって。大体生きていたらあの火事の時からどこに行ったんだよ。あの時ショーはまだ1歳の赤ちゃん
That
だぞ。
had to have been a hell of a fire if that
誰
was
か
the
が
report.
何か隠しているんじゃないのか。
そんなの信じられるわけねえだろ。それが本当だとしても、なんでお前が知ってる？なんで俺にそんなことを教える？何が目的だ？わざわざここに何しに来た？
俺に興味津々か。いいだろう。お前はなかなか見込みがありそうだからな。真実が知りたいだろう。ヒーローごっこをやめて真実を
At
求め
what cost?
俺
Though?
と
What
悪
do
魔になる
you
か。
want?
ヒーローか悪魔かだって。お前をぶっ飛ばしてと捕まえる。
なんだよ、期待外れだ。
Wants to join.
そんな飛び蹴り好きだらけだぞ。
Under the blow.
ヒーローといえば飛び蹴りだ。
He's obviously too experienced. He's not
こ
the
いつは
one.
悪魔の火力だぜ。
危ない。
Oh, watch out.
ゆっくりしすぎたか。邪魔が来だしたな。
待たせたな。ホムラビタ役。アーサー、競技施設内に不審者が侵入。
He's gonna don't.
嘘をつ
He's
くな。
overconfident. He's gonna try and get his ass kicked. I just know it.
俺が捕まえる。いやー、バカ騎士。
その剣を振り回してどう俺を捕まえる気だ。
私を忘れるんじゃねえ。捕まえた。
シンラ、お前がヒーローにこだわるならここにいる連中を一人残らず助けてみせろ。
またあの灰。なんだ。
はい。
じゃあな、悪魔、お前がその気ならこのジョーカーの仲間に入れてやる。
Joker. So that's not his name. That's the organization or whatever he works for.
早くこっから逃げるぞ。爆発する。アーサー、天井抜け。上から脱出する。
So is she a third generation like Shina?
全員助ける。クソったれ。消防官はヒーローなんだよ。
guys don't just stand there. Oh, now you do something.
君はその二人を無事地上に送り届けるんだ。
はい。俺は
下を見
シナ、大丈夫か？見てたぞ、4人も助けて。ヒーローじゃねえか。
ありがとうございます。
それじゃ失礼するよ。
中で不審な男と会いました。謎の粉と爆発を操る男です。先日の火事場嵐、あの時の爆発とよく似ています。大隊長、特殊消防隊は何かを隠しているんですか？
I don't want to think about it, but it probably is.
特殊消防隊は本当に国民のために
Could
戦
it
う
be
組
that
織
they
なんで
are
すよね。
creating these infernals somehow? Or responsible for it?
特殊消防隊は西洋協会、東京軍、消防庁の3つの組織から人員を募って結成されている。それぞれの勢力に強弱がある。
It's always
第一は
bureaucracy.
西洋協会の力が強く、第二は東京軍の直属組織だ。第五に至っては一企業の灰島重工が実権を握っている。
灰島が？なんで灰島が？
もちろんどの隊もホムラ人の鎮魂と人体発火現象の原因追及を任務とし、国民のために戦っている。しかし活動の中で得た情報は各隊が独自保管し共有されない。
That makes
その中
no
には
sense.
人体発火の完全に信用できない以上、俺も特殊消防隊は怪しいと思う。
それじゃあ俺たち第8の目的は何なんですか？
Tell the truth.
俺たち第8は特殊消防隊はホムラ人の原因を掴んでいるはずなんだ。
So maybe they
俺
know,
は
but
そ
they
れを見
just
つけ出し
don't want to.
人
Maybe
々を
it
救いたい。
benefits them in some way.
その調査、俺にも協力させてください。
Alright, so there we have it, episode 3 of Fire Force. Quite a bit of information coming at us this episode, but the thing I'm, I guess, most intrigued about now is how the, how the companies are structured, or what, who's behind the scenes managing and overseeing it all, right? And now we know that it's comprised of three arms, basically, which comes down to the church, the army, and a private company, the Hajima Industries, which provides them with all the equipment that they use. And not surprisingly, there's corruption somewhere, and it had to be. It's most likely as a result of capitalism and greed. That's pretty much how it works in the real world as well. So. Shinra kind of got a hint of what happened to his brother. This Joker character suggests that his brother is alive. I don't know. His claim was a bit odd to me at first, because he suggested that my assumption was that, okay, there's a fire, and they had to have found some remains there. The fire had to have been very intense for your body to be burned to ash and nothing remains. And a small fire isn't enough to do that kind of damage. Unless someone had to have come and put the fire out. So there had to have been remains of some sort. So unless, in this case, which is maybe why I'm guessing now maybe that's why they suspect that Shinra, or at least the people suspected Shinra was responsible. Or that maybe his mom combusted or something to that effect, but it had to have been, supernatural related, for their bodies to have been, burned to ash. And now he's told that his brother may very well be alive, and the captain for the first company does appear to know something. If he's the one that did in fact rescue Shinra, I can't imagine what exactly he's hiding, but you know, I'm guessing he knows more than he knows more than he's actually saying. So there appears to be some conspiracy that's going on, and Akiteru said that the purpose of the 8th company is to investigate the 1 through to 7, because at this point they should know the reason for people spontaneously combusting, and if they know the truth but they're not sharing the information or trying to stop it, I'm guessing someone has something to gain by allowing it to happen. Hajime Industries, of course, you know, they sell the equipment to all the 8 companies. They do have something to gain, of course, because the more fires there are to put out, the more equipment you do have to buy and replace, and there's money in it for them. I can't imagine what the armed forces would have to gain, or the church, the Soul Temple. I know people, it could be as twisted as the church wanting people to remain faithful, you know, to have faith and to keep and to pray and all of that. If the problem is solved, then it's like you forget. It's like how I would compare it to the current state where religion is concerned, or any belief, any faith-based practice, right? Where oftentimes people they don't participate in those practices, going to church, praying, and all of that, until something bad happens. In this instance where the people are spontaneously combusting and dying, it's a constant reminder that, hey, you need to keep praying, you need to keep doing this, to be spared and not be the next person, something like that, right? So the church does have something to gain itself, as does Hajime Industries. The armed forces, I'm not sure where they would fall into this, but there's potential for corruption everywhere. So that adds a new layer to the story that I'm really enjoying. I have to say, this new character, I don't recall them mentioning her name. Maybe I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch that. But I'm not loving the fan service stuff. I'll be honest. I don't care much for fan service in anime. It's not too over the top here, so I don't mind it. And I love the character so much that it doesn't overtake everything, the other aspects of the show that makes it truly good so far. So I don't mind it, but fan service is really unnecessary. So luckily it's not something that's too prevalent in the series, at least not so far. This Joker character, he's interesting. He's trying to lure Shinra to the bad side, and it may very well turn out that he is actually good, at least not in the traditional sense, but perhaps he is he's a result of what the other companies have allowed to happen, and he now knows the truth. So that seems to be it's a gray area sort of thing. I mean, while he's done some bad stuff so far, but we haven't seen him kill anyone, or he's injured people, sure. But I'm guessing that later on he may turn out to be not completely evil. He's just a result of whatever is happening in the background that no one seems to know about. I don't see Shinra going to that side, even for the answers. He much like Akiteru seems to care more about saving lives than they do, whatever the truth might be. That comes secondary to saving people's lives. So I don't think Shinra would go to that side. Well, not to say, again, we don't know if that side is really evil, but he phrased it that way, right? To be the hero or the devil, but I don't think it's ever really that simple. There are always shades of gray. So we may very well find out later on that character is actually trying to expose the companies and whatever it is that they have been hiding. So that does intrigue me. The character with the pigtail that I mentioned, again, don't recall her name, but her abilities, not quite sure. I'm guessing she's 3rd generation because she created the flames herself. I don't know. She created can't ears and tails with the flame, but she seems to be able to project them as well. So I don't know if that's just a part of her suit up, or is that even necessary for her to have those things, or if it's just like intimidation or something like that. I don't know. It looks cool, not complaining. But we're meeting new characters, and I'm loving that so far. I don't know what the structure of the tournament is. This was only one test, so I don't know. I'm assuming that there are several, and we saw people walking around with patches from different fire companies, and but it was mostly focused on those that were at number 1. I'm assuming because they are the best, but I really do want to see. I want to see some of the others, you know, and I imagine we will get that later on. So far, it's a lot more world building. At the beginning of the episode, we had a conversation with the Joker and another character who I don't think the name was revealed, about the state of the rest of the world as well. So the world, it's still building for us, introducing new characters, letting us know where everyone is on the map, who are our players on the board, and I imagine as the tournament progresses, we're going to learn more and more, and then we go full throttle from there out and into the main arc, the main story. So bits and pieces here and there. We now know what the purpose of the eighth company is, to essentially in secret investigate the other 7. So that's something I'm totally interested in seeing. I cannot wait to see what the revelations are. I can only speculate for the time being that yes, there is some corruption going on, but I do suspect that these infernals that are being created, that's my theory so far. Not a lot of information to back that up, but I do suspect that the infernals that are being created are artificial, and they're being made. And perhaps at one point it was some unnatural phenomenon, but I think they're being manufactured now to serve some hidden agenda, maybe perhaps for greed and profit. So that's my theory so far, but definitely going to be following the story and looking forward to seeing what other revelations there are as the series continues. Alright guys, be sure to post down below. Let me know what your theories are. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on what has been revealed so far. Where do you think the story will go? If you think there are some other players at hand that are responsible for the Infernals being created, what are your theories? Alright, be sure to post down below. Hit like, and I'll see you guys for the next one.